friends, this is Venkatesh. On the other day, one of my friend asked me, "See Venki, we have been conversing in the language English for so many years, but I do not know why people often complain about my communication skills. Am I not proficient in the language? Don't I have spontaneity in the language? I am fluent in the language, but still many of them tell me that I don't have command over the language. It really disturbs me a lot. It irks me, right? It's something, this particular thing nagging my mind. What should I do?" He asked me. Hey, I tell her, hold on. Why do you bother about it? Do you know what to say? What exactly communication skill is all about? It's very simple. Those who speak in a language doesn't mean that they have communication skills. They are merely speaking skills. Nowadays, most of the people do have fantastic fluency in the language. It doesn't mean that they have command over the language and they have excellent communication skills. Then what is this communication skill is all about? Right? One should have the ability to convince people. That is what is called as communication is all about. So when will you get that communication skill then? You should have content first of all. The thing what you are conversing with the person who is quite in front of you or the people quite in front of you, in order to convince them, you should have the content. The content alone will give you the confidence. The moment if you gain confidence, the courage automatically builds up. If you have these threes, content, confident and courage, you can attract any audience for that matter. There is no stopping at all. You need not have to fumble. Take it from me. Sir, how do I gain that? It's very simple. Practice brings in perfection. You need to collect a lot of vocabularies, right? And keep on using them. So mere collection is of no use. The moment if you start collecting the vocabularies, keep practicing it. Put into use. Either you write or you talk. It doesn't mean, sir, please don't have this obstruction in your mind. If I use different vocabularies, what the other person would say. See, if you are taking a classes, your intention is to make the audience to understand what you are delivering, then you can use simple words. If at all you want to strengthen your vocabulary, definitely please don't keep it in your mind that people in front of me do expect something. If I use different vocabularies, they may not understand. So if at all you want to develop your vocabularies, make use of it. But if my intention is to convey certain things to the people who do not have that much knowledge in the language, then you can go for a simple language. If at all you want to maintain, if at all you want to develop your command, obviously you should have to try it out. Either let me give you a different tactics. You keep it in writing. Take, in my case, I've collected a lot of vocabularies. I used to write using those vocabularies. Many of the people started complaining, "Hey Venki, you are writing something here, but we could not understand." Right? It's very good. The content of my writing definitely will reach people, but some of the vocabularies, right, they may not be able to understand, but there is a logic behind it. As far as I am concerned, I am giving new words, whatever I have collected, to the people, those who follow me. In a way, I am doing a bit of service. So certain positive things must be there in your mind. Only then you can keep on doing about it. Okay? Don't don't feel shame. So it is not a thing to feel shy about. If you do not know your mother tongue, then there comes a problem. Then you can say, "I'm ashamed about it." Why? Because I do not have my mother tongue. Right? You take your mother tongue on top of your head, keep it in your heart, whereas you stand on top of the foreign language called English. Right? That should come under your command. Okay? Whereas let your mother tongue take the command over you. Why? Because your mother tongue gave you lot of things in your life. The philosophy, the way of life, right? The virtues, the righteousness, everything you have imbibed through your mother tongue. That should be always on top of your head and inside your heart. Whereas if you take English, you please stand on top of it. Right? How it should be gauged? How can I say that I have attained communication skill? Right? The moment if you gain the ability to convince people, ability to convince people. It's what your marketing people they do. Whatever things you purchase, right? How you are doing it, not with your the way they have pumped the information in your mind about the product. That's true through their advertisements and everything. If a marketing person comes, he completely mesmerizes you with his words. That is what is all about convincing. So the marketing persons convinces you with his communication skills. That is, if a person has content, confidence, courage, obviously he gets the ability to convince people over the thing whatever he is supposed to deliver, or whatever he is supposed to gather everybody together. So it is the possibility is there, right? And I'll give examples for this communication skills, right from Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru to our great Prime Minister now Narendra Modi. They came to power through what? Through communication skills, right? Of course, Jawaharlal Nehru was part of our freedom struggle. That's a different thing. But he was so prominent. He was placed on top of everybody. Why? Because the Oxford education, his linguistic skills, the ability to convince people, that is more important. So he was made as the person to take the helm of the affairs, right? Similarly, Namo means whatever, Narendra Modi. He surpassed many of the people in the party cadre, like from Sushma Swaraj, a lot of other people. So let us not talk about politics, right? To give an example for that, I think it is in 2013 that he addressed Jawaharlal Nehru University students, Narendra Modi, before being called as the prime ministerial candidate. He spoke in front of the students. He gave 3 different points, 3 triple S, right? Speed, skill, scale, and speed. He talked on these 3 words. Speed, skill, and scale. I think it was really a mesmerizing speech. I still remember that. So I thought in that, come on, we have found a new person for our country. He'll do wonders. In those days, I thought so. And what is happening nowadays? It is left to everybody's decision and everybody's analysis. I don't want to indulge about those comments, right? And similarly, if you take Tamil Nadu, the Dravidian people came to power because of their pure, excellent communication skills, because most of them have command over the literature, the poetry of Tamil Nadu, right? And their social justice system, and put together they had excellent oratorical skills. Their oratorical skills literally mesmerized the masses, and with that they could snatch the power from Congress, and still the Dravidian parties are ruling over the state of Tamil Nadu. Is it only related to India? A lot of people, for example, if you take at the international stage, Abraham Lincoln, is a fantastic orator. That is why a person from a marginalized section, the son of a cobbler, could come and take the throne of America, right? Similarly, Martin Luther King, a fantastic fighter for the rights of the blacks over there. He had excellent communication skills. If time permits, go and type the speeches of Martin Luther King in Google or in your YouTube. That's the way he speaks, the modulations, right? The emotions, what he presents, everything is exemplary. Nothing can match his speech. Similarly, Nelson Mandela, and why forget about Hitler? Hitler was a fantastic orator. The moment he finishes his speech, he'll be perspiring, really, completely, he'll be drenched in sweat. This is how he speaks. That is why he could take command over the entire Germany. Though he's not a German, he's from Austria, right? He could capture the entire Germany, and he ruled over Europe, and he became a threat to the entire world. This just because his communication skills. He was not a great soldier, take it from me. He was acting as a courier, a messenger from war front to the military office. That was his role in World War I, right? And if you take business for you, let me come to business. I told you about politics, international leaders. Now coming back to our business people. For instance, I'll tell you the story of Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs is a person. His idea, his knowledge on computers, computer programming, coding systems, I think it is minimal. If you could read his biography, he says that he has got mastery over the calligraphy. Calligraphy is something that produces, that helps to create the fonts, different fonts, different sizes in different style. That is the only ability he had pertaining to computers. But what made him the CEO of Apple? The way he marketed the product, the way he spoke, the way he convinced the people. If Jobs is not there, definitely we may not be having the iPods and iPhones nowadays. So he was the man behind the evolution in electronic gadgets, that particularly the mobile phones and iPhones, right? Even if I go there and I stand in front of them, if somebody asks him to market me, he'll sell this fat fellow with a belly for some $2,000, $3,000. It is possible. So that man had that much of communication skills. I told you, no need to have fear or shame or shy that you do not know a foreign language. A foreign language is always a foreign language, right? Mother tongue is always a mother tongue, unless otherwise you understand the music of your mother tongue. Every language has its own music, a pattern, right? If one could clearly imbibe, understand the pattern of his mother tongue, then it is possible for that particular person to have mastery over the other languages, right? It's what happened in my case, right? I don't have the mastery in the sense that I cannot say I'm a great poet, or I can write pretty many articles, or I can address the gathering for hours together. It is not that, but I could understand the nuances of the language. It helped me to understand the other language, the foreign language, English. How come you call it as a foreign language here? After all, it is our national language. It's very good. The English people, the British people ruled India for over 200 years. Before that, we didn't have a language called English. Then, okay, fine, we understand, but still, how can you call that as a foreign language? See, for instance, I'm speaking in my mother tongue, Tamil. My father and mother, they are still speaking in Tamil. Their parents spoke in Tamil, and my forefathers spoke in Tamil. In the sense that the language Tamil, the ingredients of Tamil, the nuances of Tamil are pretty much mixed in their DNA. It's a hereditary thing. The ability to talk in particular language. If someone converses in a particular language, if that language happens to be the mother tongue, the ability to understand is somewhat pretty much easier, right? Everybody agrees with it. How it happens? Why? Because the genes carry the ingredients of a language, but it is not so with respect to English, right? The English came only in the late 17th century or 18th century. So obviously, for obvious reasons, a mother tongue is always a mother tongue. A foreign language is always a foreign language. The circumstances made that particular language as our national language. But it is, and also the circumstances forces us to have command over the language. So if you have command over the language, it becomes a tool to integrate. It becomes the tool to helps you to go around the world. It makes you a global citizen. Right? In that case, you require a foreign language, named as English. Whereas if it comes to the other things, to be as a good human being, to live a virtuous way of life, to develop friendships, to live a peaceful life, obviously your mother tongue is the best. But it is the situation, the circumstances that forces you to follow the foreign language, obviously English. So one needs to have to learn that language. There is no other go. So fine. If at all you want to learn that particular language, what do you do? Right? So okay, fine. You told me that I have to collect words, vocabularies. I have to put everything into use. Then is it possible? Is it enough for me to gain communication skills with these things? Certainly not. You need to practice. How could I practice here? If you take the people around my area, my friends, always they prefer to talk in my mother tongue or the local language, but they don't prefer to talk in English. And how can I develop the ability? It's a very valid question. Very simple. If I keep silence, I close my mouth, what happens? Somebody within me talks with me, right? Always he keeps talking with me. I told him, hey, come on, maintain silence here. Shoo, don't talk. I told them n number of times. He is not the one going to listen to me. So what I did, I spoke with him in English. There will be a question. If you speak with him in a very, a fragile language, a broken language, a language with a lot of mistakes, what will happen here? No problem. No problem. First of all, you keep on conversing with him in the language for a while, at least for say half an hour in a day or 1 hour in a day. Slowly you will gain confidence. At the same time, you keep on reading. At the same time, you will listen to some of the greatest programs that's being telecasted in news channels like NDTV or CNN and IBN. And all those channels, and mushrooming of channels are there. You keep on watching any of the debates, you keep listening to the news channels, right? And keep reading books, and at the same time, keep talking to yourself. It is more than enough to attain mastery over the language. Very simple. You don't have to go to any classes, pay a lump sum amount to learn a language, a mere language, right? And at the same time, don't feel sorry, or don't shy about. Don't take it as a shame that you do not know English, right? First and foremost thing, it is always a foreign language. It cannot match your mother tongue, but it is our fate. It is the demand of the time that we should have to learn English. What I should do? I should have to collect words. I should have to collect vocabularies. Have to put them into use either by talking or by writing. At the same time, I should have to talk with me. Right, number one, and I should have to keep on watching certain programs, and I should keep on reading books. It's more than enough. If time permits, if an opportunity comes, definitely you go and try. Take it from me. It is possible for you because it happened in my life. It happened in my life. I cannot say I don't have command over the language even now, right? But I can manage. But I've got fruitful results. I've got appreciations. And still you could feel that I'm fumbling, right? For the simple reason, I'm talking in front of a camera, right? I'm not addressing the audience, right? It's a closed room, a shaky thing is always there. If someone keeps listening to you, you gain confidence. If you look at a person sitting in front of you and if you talk to them, there comes a confidence, I think, if you ask me, right? In my case. But here, I'm talking in front of a camera. I don't think it is pretty much a comfortable zone for me, right? It happens, no problem. And furthermore, what to say? I've learned few other languages also. For example, Hindi, right? I just wrote Pratmik, that is the Pratik examination conducted by Dakshina Bharat Hindi Prachar Sabha. How then, after that, I didn't write any examinations, right? All these things happened when I was in my 5th standard, right? Later on, what happened, in those days, we don't have these much of, satellite channels, right? A lot of channels, mushrooming of channels are there nowadays. We do not know which program to follow, right? In those days, we had only one channel, that is Doordarshan. In Doordarshan, what happens after 9 o'clock? They'll telecast this national program. The national programs will be in English and in Hindi. Coming back to regional thing, it will be in Tamil. So what is the beauty that lies in these programs is that the promos, the advertisements that is being telecast in the national channel will be translated or dubbed. And the same advertisement are being telecasted in Tamil as well. So they used to telecast in Tamil as well. So what I do, I pick up words from Tamil and I pick up words in Hindi. I used to compare these two and I kept learning the language. I'll give an example for that. One thing that is there still in my mind is the advertisement on Rin. The Rin soap, they say that kapadon ka chamatkar jada, kapadon ka bandar Jada. That means what? Tunigalin Venmai Adigam, Tunigalin Pragasam Adigam. Another advertisement is that about Colgate, Palmolive. Dant में दर्द परेशानी, पल वलिया कवले, सांस में बदबू परेशानी, மூச்சு விடுவதில் பிரச்சனையா கவலை, and அலியங்கள் அவர்களுக்கு ஒரு பாதுகாப்பு வளையம். लीजिए इनको एक सुरक्षा चक्र. In this way, you compare and learn. The thing is, one should have the passion to learn the language. Unless otherwise you have this passion, I don't think it is possible for you to learn anything, right? For a language to learn, you should have to have the passion to learn, right? And I think it helped me a lot. Hopefully, this thing will also be useful to you guys, right? So, learn the language. Be happy that you know your mother tongue pretty much well. What is that? Mother tongue, and you are reading books in your mother tongue, and at the same time you have understood the music of your mother tongue. Now you go to other languages. It is easy for you to learn any language for that matter. Why talk about English here? Okay, it's a lot of flaws here and there. Why? Because I'm talking in front of a camera, right? It is my second attempt that is talking in front of a camera. Anyway, flaws will be there. Please bear with me. Be confident.